First story. Am I the a-hole for telling my half-brother he's not my daughter's father or mine? My half-brother is 19 years old. I'm 26 years old. We share a dad, but not a mom. Right after my mom died, Dad had a one-night stand with the woman who is now his wife. My half-brother was the result of that one-night stand. And 2 years later, they were not only together, but happily married. They now have 5 kids together, including my half-brother. One thing she and I have in common is the loss of our moms at a very young age. Stepmom was 9 and I had just turned 7 when our respective moms died. So she knew what it was like and she never tried to be my mom. She didn't even try to fill that role for me. She resented her own stepmother for doing it, so we had a very casual relationship. I appreciate her so much for that. She also was quick to remind my dad she wasn't my mom when he would call her that to me. I think she knew the best way for me to accept the change, and especially half-siblings, would be to never make me feel like she was replacing or taking over where my mom once was. Here's the thing. I had my daughter 16 weeks ago. I named her after my mom and my husband's mom. Cool. Dad started to say something, but his wife cut him off. But my half-brother, the oldest of their kids, has been on my butt about it. He told me I was rude. He told me I should have used his mom's name, that she's been my mom longer than my birth mom was, and all this other crap. I told him to knock it off. His mom told him to knock it off. Then he came for me even harder and told me to change her name and show respect and love to his mom, or else. I told him he's not my daughter's father or mine, so he has no business telling me what to do or deciding what my daughter's name should be. He's pissy. I'm ignoring him. Am I the a-hole? Now the top comments. Not the a-hole. You can name your child after whoever the hell you want. The fact that your stepmother seems to also understand this should also give you further comfort in your decision. Your half-brother needs to stay in his lane. That's what's so annoying about it. Not the a-hole. People like this are dumb. Stand your ground. Every time I see these kinds of posts, I can't believe the entitlement of some people. Bunch of clowns. Tell them to push a kid out of their uterus and they can name it whatever the F they please. Not the a-hole, but I suspect he's getting the attitude from your father. Even if your father has a little more wits about him and is keeping his mouth shut. For now. But I wouldn't be surprised if your brother and maybe your father started using your stepmom's name, the middle name, instead of your mother's name. So just be prepared for that and have a plan for dealing with it. Example, if they are at your place, you ask them once, and if they persist, tell them to leave. If you are at their place or in public, you ask them once, and if they persist, you leave, since you can't make them leave their own place or a public place. Do this the first few times it happens, consistently. It will be easier than trying to break them of the habit later on. And kudos to your stepmother. It's always nice to see someone get it right, so that you grew up comfortable, if not as ideally as if your mother had lived. Second story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to do anything that my girlfriend wanted me to do during my 2 weeks off work? I, 29-year-old male, have lived with my girlfriend, 32-year-old female, for just under a year. We've been seeing each other for 3 years and change. Recently, I earned a promotion at work. I've worked my butt off for this promotion for several years and have barely taken any time off during that duration. When I found out about my promotion and that they wouldn't actually need me for my new role for about a month, I decided to finally cash in some of my paid time off and to take off 10 days, 14 total, from my work in between my old role and my new role. When my girlfriend found out about this, she decided to go ahead and put in for the first week of my time off from her job as well, which she was granted. When I found out about this, I told her, I'm glad to be able to spend some time with you, but I just want to hang out and do nothing with my 2 weeks off. Just watch some Netflix or whatever. However, she bought paint and painting supplies for us to work on the guest room together. She also planned for us to go to her parents' cabin up north on a lake for a few days before she had to go back to work. The first week off of our vacation is coming up this week. When I found out about her plans, I told her, no, I told you that I didn't want to do anything with my 2 weeks off. Stop trying to hijack my time off. She got very upset and said that time off together will be hard to come by for several years, and that I was being selfish, especially since she was only asking me to spend one of my weeks off with her. and leaving me completely free for my second. I think that she was wrong to try to take over my days off like this, especially after I told her that I just wanted to use them to relax and do what I wanted. She thinks that I have 2 whole weeks off, and that I should give her one of them since we are a couple. Am I the a-hole? Now the top comments. Everyone sucks here. Her for not respecting your boundaries, you for not trying to find a compromise or middle ground. The lake house sounds quiet, relaxing, and considerate. Are you sure you even want to be with her? If I were you, I wouldn't be surprised but worried when she no longer wants to hijack your time to spend quality time with you. Everyone sucks here, potentially, but you're the a-hole. From your post, neither of you are compromising, and both of you are being self-centered. I think you both need to sit down and decide what you actually want, and how much you want it, and what compromises you are prepared to make it work. Relationship requires compromise. It doesn't sound like you in particular think in terms of we. It sounds like you only think in terms of I. I don't know about your girlfriend because we only have your side. From your side, it is summed up in this sentence. I told her that I just wanted to use them to relax and do what I wanted. If you didn't want to spend time with your girlfriend, you should have told her not to book time off or cancel it. Let's remember your girlfriend has made sacrifices for your promotion too. All the time you could have spent doing new couple things, but you were working instead. It is not just you that has sacrificed time. You want to veg out. Your girlfriend wanted some of the time you spent together to be productive or quality. Clue for you, spending time vegging out in front of Netflix is not considered quality time spent together by most women. She thinks that I have 2 whole weeks off and that I should give her one of them since we are a couple. She's not asking you to give her one of your weeks off. She's asking you to share one of your weeks and give it to your relationship, which, to be fair, sounds like it has been playing second fiddle for your job for years. If you want to keep this relationship, you'll need to learn to compromise and invest in your relationship, or you may find that you can do exactly as you like because you won't have a girlfriend to compromise with, because she will have gone off to find someone who actually does want to spend time with her. Third story. Am I the a-hole for telling my son's stepmom I wouldn't discuss their religious beliefs with her? I have 2 sons, ages 15 and 13. X and I were young when we had them. We broke up when I was still pregnant with our youngest son. He was absent for the best part of 3 years and then reappeared when he had found Jesus and met the woman who he's now married to. I'm an atheist and he had no beliefs when we met and were together, but was raised Catholic. So neither of our boys are baptized and I was never okay with that happening. X and his wife are practicing Catholics now though. They have tried to influence the boys to follow their religion. He petitioned the court 3 separate times for the right to raise them Catholic and was denied because I didn't consent. The boys have been exposed to other religions in a more educational way through their friends, my friends, some of my extended family. It's the way I prefer to raise them. X hates it, but I don't want the Catholic morals instilled in my boys, especially the anti-abortion and anti-LGBTQ ones. It's especially important since my younger son is gay, and my ex's church has a crazily anti-LGBTQ priest. X's wife has been more and more upset about their lack of faith and belief. She actually called me a couple of times in the last month to try and broach the subject. The second time she tried using a friend's phone to have this long discussion about it. She brought up multiple concerns of hers and how she feels like their role as parents has not been respected in the decision of what the boys believe. I shut her down and told her I would not discuss this with her, and that she was not to call me again about this issue. She is furious. She accused me of dismissing her role as their mom, which she's not, and I will happily say that. That I am dismissing the health of their souls and am teaching my kids to be anti-religion and bigoted towards religions. Most of that I roll my eyes at, but my sister, who is a stepmom, said that shutting her down in the way I did was unfair given she has been in their lives for so many years now. Am I the a-hole? Now the top comments. Not the a-hole. Why would a father want his gay son to attend church in a community that ostracizes him and with a priest that openly condemns him? They are free to have their beliefs, but your sons are lucky they have your voice of reason in their life. Not the a-hole. And let me start with holy shoot, you were really out here with a newborn and a toddler for 3 years? That's difficult. And expensive. You should send the stepmom an itemized bill for that time, since she wants to be respected so bad. Unless the mom is out of the picture, stepmoms don't get a say in decisions. I'm glad your kids are about old enough to decide stuff on their own. I was, and it was hard AF. Luckily, I was always working and made some choices that put us in a better position than some. But it was a lot of hard work, money, and honestly, it resulted in me not having much of a personal life for 2 years. But those boys were worth every moment. Becoming a mom made me a stronger person, and it probably made me a better person. I wouldn't trade those 3 years for the world. Because as hard as they were, I was never too proud to get help when it was needed, and I was never too dependent that I couldn't cope with the help. Fourth story. Am I the a-hole for not sharing my prize money with my husband? My husband and I have been married for 10 years. We are not in the US. A few weeks ago, I saw a competition that we would both qualify for and told him about it. He said he wasn't interested in it, so I said I would do submissions for both of us anyway, to increase my chances of winning. Lo and behold, he won and got $5,000. Initially, he said that he would put some of the money towards some home repairs, but then he changed his mind and decided to keep the money. I asked him how much he was giving to me, and he said none because he has to pay the bills. I was annoyed but left it alone. Fast forward to last week and I won the $50,000 grand prize. When I told him, he was ecstatic and started talking about what he would do with his portion of the money. I stopped him and told him I have plans for the money and he's not getting any of it. I'm putting $10,000 to get the repairs done, some will go into savings and the rest will pay off my loan. He got upset, and when I reminded him that he didn't share his prize with me, he said I'm being unfair because I got a lot more than he did. Honestly, I would have shared mine 50-50 with him, but his behavior when he won just rubbed me the wrong way. So am I wrong for not giving him any of my prize money? I think I may be the a-hole because I did get a significantly larger amount of money, and me not sharing it is kind of punishment for him not sharing his before. Edit. Number 1. He used his prize money to purchase workout equipment, shoes, and some was put toward his credit. The weights he bought are in a higher weight category, so I won't be using them. Number 2. For those suggesting divorce, this is the first time he's acted selfish in that way, and it will be discussed to ensure that we're on the same page moving forward. Yeah, my initial response was petty, but I'm human and I was hurt. Number 3. Our finances are separate. We have joint long-term savings and another account for emergency funds. We each get our salaries in individual accounts and pay what we have to from there. We both have access to each other's accounts should the need arise. Now the top comments. Not the a-hole, however, why are you two married? You entered for him and he kept it for himself? What you did was justice of the best kind, but seriously, his selfishness and greed are massive red flags you shouldn't ignore. Not the a-hole. If I understand correctly, the entry you submitted for him won $5,000, and the entry you submitted for yourself won $50,000. He kept the entire $5,000 for himself, and thus set the precedent that the winner keeps all the money for themselves. Karma is truly a B. Last story. Am I the a-hole for sending an email at 1:30 a.m.? I sent an email to a school teacher at 1:30 a.m., and the school talked as if I were insane. In my mind, email is like mail. You can drop the letter anytime in the mailbox, but the recipient will receive it anytime they want to receive it. I understand that some people turn on notifications for each email they receive. However, they can turn off the notification when they do not want to be disturbed. The school made it such a big deal that I sent an email at 1:30 a.m. I am wondering if I were the a-hole for sending it early morning. Now the top comments. Not the a-hole. I agree with the recipient can receive the mail when they want argument. It is the pressure to always be available that is the real problem. If you expected a response at outside of office hours, then my opinion would be different. Speaking as a PhD, I have been on the receiving end of early morning emails that demanded immediate response. I hate that. I'm a teacher and I don't think you did anything wrong. Now, it's annoying when someone sends an email on the weekend or over Thanksgiving or Christmas break, then follows up several times to find out why I haven't responded. That's crazy. But you did nothing wrong. Not the a-hole. This is as dumb as my stepdad being mad I texted him while he was driving. And he said, made him look at his phone while driving. First, we don't live together. How the F would I know when exactly he is driving ever? Delivering a message to him for him to see and reply when he can. There's no way to pre-check that it's okay to send it. Call him to ask if I can send a text. Email is a mailbox. You're in a phone line to other messages that will be gotten to. No one said, hey, answer me now. What if she came home from work with a headache and took a nap? Are you gonna get told about your 5:30 p.m. email? Also note that there is probably a ton of adverts being sent all hours. If they didn't silence the notifications when they were sleeping, someone else was going to be dinging the phone all night. It's not ringing a phone or knocking on a door. It's literally a memo on your desk to deal with when you're at your desk. Again, complete separate issue from being concerned about students' lack of sleep. This is not knowing how to use tech. And apparently demanding we adjust to finding programs to time-send things to people and maintain the list of who can't handle the concept? Nope, time to adapt. Your school, as part of your job, offers students the ability to email teachers and get upset over a message at night. Answer it during your available hours. Don't deliver my paper at 9 a.m. because I don't wake up until 7:30. Same stupid logic. Lol, thank you for sharing the story about your stepdad. You made my day.